But what happened with you?
Yeah, mine's way worse. I have no excuse. It wasn't even a work event. I just did show up on time.
Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this?
Welcome to another edition of KFC Radio on the Barstool Sports Network. Kevin is still gone, so it is still me and everybody. Billy's going to come in a second. But first, get tickets. Providence is released. Tickets for Providence on July 21st?
July 21st.
July 21st. Get your tickets to that. We have, I think, like Denver, Phoenix, and LA coming soon. We're going to announce those.
DC September 29th.
DC September 29th. That is still active. And that's it.
Pop-on tickets are available. We have two shows coming up. I believe it's September 29th, Atlantic City. We got a show. And August 6th, we're going to be in New York at Gramercy Theater. So come check us out there.
I'll be at
and
that
then
one for
October
sure.
1st, Ocean's Calling in Maryland, which is going to be
Get
unbelievable.
Ocean's Calling and get
Yeah.
KFC Radio September 29th because we're doing both. All right, welcome to another edition of KFC Radio. We were going to do like a segment with Billy Football today and just talk about getting drunk at work because people may not know that I have quite a story. I think that would be for the 1.6 million. That would be a new story for an old story for new people. But we're going to get to that in a little bit because we had someone come in and tell Jackie congratulations on her new business ventures. Billy, it seems like, hadn't heard about them. So I quickly just said, Jackie's a FinDom now. And Billy went, oh, I got stories. So it's been something that's actually been mentioned on this in our mentions a lot, is that Jackie and Billy need to get in a room together. This wasn't the reason we're doing it, but it is now happening. And we have two of the great minds. Jackie is, I guess we'll just play you the clip that Jackie is a FinDom now. And then we can go, and then I'm gonna have some follow-up questions for you.
Okay.
And then we can hear Billy's stories.
Well, Billy, you just go.
No, I mean,
here's Jackie. So someone reached out to her. She was saying she needs money. Someone reached out to her, said, "You can be my FinDom."
Oh, so
But then I was like, all right, what's up? Because then he started sending more money.
How much money are we talking?
I've made up to 1,000.
This is highway robbery.
Jesus Christ, you fucking dirty. Bro.
I had to kind of work for it a little bit. I will say that.
We need to work for it.
I have had to, I've just had to text him as if I am my FinDom. Kind of.
Oh, well, take your phone out.
No.
Yes.
I've got the receipts, don't worry. I've got the receipts. I got it. No, you outed me about how much I jerk off. I'm outing you right now. From Jackie.
Wait, hold on. Let me just.
Yep. From Jackie. Ha 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 ha. You're so pathetic. He answers, it really makes me so hard when you talk like that. From Jackie, I bet you come so fast when I say that to you. Haha, how are you this perfect? Can I come, goddess, or should I wait for your pick? Don't fucking come right now.
Look, so that's what Jackie does as her side hustle.
No,
aside from Barstool Sports producer. I just want a quick follow up. We don't have to keep harping on this. I know it makes you uncomfortable. I just want to have you heard anything from him?
Yeah, no. Listen, he was not very happy.
Yeah, did you tell him to shut the fuck up?
No, I kind of was like, I can't.
I know. I don't want to mess up your side gig, but it makes for pretty good content for your main gig.
Well, he was like, I hope that we can move past this. So I was like, oh my god! Every single time I tell him I'm not gonna say anything else, I do. But I was like, so you'll still send money? again, like.
See, but no. See, this is the problem right now. What you're
I
doing
need to
is
be
you're
more-
being the
I'm-
simp. You
I'm
gotta
being
be
the
the
simp.
fucking. You'll be like, yeah, bitch. You send me money when I fucking tell you to send me money.
I know, but I feel bad.
No, so I first heard about this kind of thing in the first like season of Euphoria. Like there was a character on there
Yes.
who was in. I was like, is this real? So like, of course, I have access to the internet. I'm like, not look up like that type of content, but like look up like what it is because like I'm just curious about things. So I'm like, what the fuck
everyone's
is
curious
this?
about stuff though.
So I mean, turns out it doesn't even have to get like sexual anyway. You just literally So like you just tell this guy to give you money and just like treat him like shit. Like there's people.
I think I was actually the one that made it kind of sexual.
Yeah, I know. Because what I was first gonna say, like,
He's
you
like,
didn't
yo, gross. Don't talk about my dick.
just talk about my bank account. And you see, like, sometimes, like, the really extreme guys, they, like, literally get on their hands and knees and crawl to a woman's door and then just, like, put their head down and hand out money. Yeah.
You're saying, you have prefaced this by saying that, like, you have dabbled in that, and now you're
so
like,
no.
oh, I've heard this.
No, I didn't. So my experience, I actually was the first, probably in the whole, office to actually get involved in that type of work during the
FinDom work.
pandemic. Not FinDom work, but just exchange on the, getting money on the internet from strangers for weird types of things.
What were you doing?
So, in the pandemic when OnlyFans was blowing up.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So I was on a live stream, and it was a Doug's live stream, and for some reason I was wearing. This is going to be like a classic one, but it actually went this far. Like I know this is a trope. Like I was wearing flip flops, and my foot was sticking out behind the chair, and I literally on this live stream after I got off, I had 3 DMs on Twitter from like random burners. So I was like, this is just like someone messing with me, like someone like actually proposing that they'd. So I was like, okay, I'm like, I'm going to try to make a bit out of this. So I made Billy Feetball.
Yeah.
So then I made Billy Feetball. I put it like, I just wanted to like bring it up as like a joke, maybe to blog about, tweet about, like not actually take it seriously. I put like my subscription rate is $100 a month because I thought no one would take it. And then I wake up the next morning after like tweeting about it, talking about it, and I literally had like 10 or 12 people subscribe.
So that's $1,200 right there.
And I was just like, what the fuck? So like I like was like playing into it. I was like, size 14. Like I got my width of my shoe size. Like like on the shoe things you can calculate. There's like the side thing that like you never really use because usually shoes stretch. So I like put all that info, like put a picture of it one next to like a 24-ounce Red Bull can is like a joke. Because I thought it was funny, but then I kept getting DMs from people who were like, "Are you going to still create content?" And I basically this was it. Like I posted about 3 photos. Then I pulled all the money out, shut it down. I was like, okay, they got 5 photos,
on OnlyFans.
$20 a pop. Like I'm
What
out
were
of
the
this.
photos? Just like straight on.
They were just feet pics, just different angles.
I got that, but yeah.
Nothing else. But like the FinDom is even easier. You don't have to take any pictures. You just have to like verbally abuse someone
Yeah.
who likes it.
Yeah, I
But
know.
now I've been a FinDom before, and I did it as content as well, and then
They
it
gotta
got.
pay us more here.
I know.
What's up? They gotta
They
pay us
gotta
more.
pay us more.
Yeah. This is probably a year ago, maybe. Were you working again?
Yeah, I remember.
Probably like a year ago, and I got a DM being like, "We need my FinDom," and I didn't know much about it. I knew like I don't even know if I think I put together what the word meant, and then I was like, "What's that mean?" It's like basically I pay you to be mean to me. And like I just was like right away I was like, how much you pay me, you little bitch? and then he paid me, and then like we exchanged a couple of things, and then he made it sexual, where he just sent me a picture of his dick and was like, make fun of how little my dick is. And I was like, all right,
That's
this
not
I was like, this is a little much. Dude. like I don't need money this bad.
That's just dom.
This is something that I like didn't admit with the sugar daddy thing, but so he like, since it wasn't a real thing, like it was a scam, he was like, oh, so like what do you want out of a daddy or whatever? And I was like, I'm like, I just want to chat, but like I'm willing to send pictures or whatever. Like I made it sexual. And then he goes like, no, let's just focus on being friends first. And I sent it to my friends, and they were like, we didn't even ask for pictures. Dude,
Dude, what?
I don't know. I think I have like no self-respect. I'm sorry to realize.
You offered pictures, and he said, let's just be friends.
Down. I was like, oh my god, I need a father, an actual father. I actually have a great dad. Whatever. But I was like, do I have daddy issues? I don't know.
I mean,
that's one of the saddest things, maybe of all of it.
It was like the worst rejection. All my friends were like, Jackie, that was embarrassing.
It's like, don't worry, I'll show you my dick. He's like, I don't know. Like, let's start slow. Maybe we'll get there.
I mean, a lot of people are getting scammed though. This is like a new thing. Have you guys talked about this?
It just happened to Jackie.
No.
I didn't fully get scammed, but he just like he was trying to scam me, and he didn't fully.
This was her last business venture, where she was going to be a sugar
Yeah.
baby.
Actually, this is a warning. So, dudes, if those like sex bots or like they look real, like they well-designed profiles, they DM you, they ask you. Like, this is something I've heard about.
Bro, you heard about the FinDoms, now you're hearing about the sex bots.
No, but there's a story, like, they will try to get, especially young men, to send a picture to them first in promise of other pictures, and then they just extort them and say that we're going to send this picture to all your family.
Now, yeah, that's been a scam. That's not really a new one.
I know.
That one's been around for some time. But I don't even think that's like, if you do that on the internet, that's something now. So like you're talking about like Twitter DMs?
Twitter DMs. I think this was on Snapchat. This one kid like.
This is why you close your fucking DMs, people.
Yeah.
Nothing good happens in your fucking DMs. Nothing good. I promise you that.
I've gotten $1,000, so like that was kind of
Yeah,
good.
she's up.
Yeah,
She's up.
I'm
She's up.
She's up barely.
Yeah, barely. You're up.
I'm up. Are you up?
No.
Yeah,
I guess.
$25. You're up $25.
All time.
Yeah, I'm up like $50. I'm up like $50, but I also have to look at a little dick.
You earned that.
So I don't know who's up. Sounds like you got the better end of that deal. But all right, so I guess that's it.
I also want on record though, at least like it fell into my lap. Billy, like you went out looking for it.
No, it
Well,
fell into Billy's
yeah.
lap. It was on a live stream.
No, you went out looking for. Oh, I guess
Well, yeah,
that, but the
I
FinDom
was
thing.
getting DMs about like, hey, like I would like to buy pictures of your feet, and I was like, he's like $20 a pop. I was like, I was like, really?
Rudy gets those a lot. Rudy says he's a communist when it comes to feet pics. If someone asks them, he just sends them. So if you want feet pics, just DM Rudy. He will send you his feet.
I got ugly ass feet too.
Dude, I got feet like a pregnant woman. It's disgusting. They're just like swollen and
Yeah.
like a rhinoceros. Like they're horrible.
Like, I mean, but some people are into that. That's what I found out. I was posing as a joke, like these are ugly ass feet. Like Jerry, the feet guy, he's all about like the white tone, like the pretty feet. And I thought that's what the people were looking for.
From you too.
Yeah, I thought this was like a joke, like a switcheroo. Like this guy's selling feet pics. Oh my god, those are disgusting. But you know, beauty's in the eye of the
Dude,
beholder.
they're like the fucking people who are like, I want your stinky socks and stuff, and like,
Yeah.
we've had porn stars on here before. It's like everyone wants stuff gross rather than stuff pristine, which I get. But all right, this is Getting Drunk at Work, brought to you by Shady Rays. Shady Rays sunglasses offer an industry-best combination of fit, style, and performance without the big brand price tag. It is summer. Kevin inexplicably only wears sunglasses in the summer. I don't get it. Get them now for summer, but also wear them in the winter because they're fashionable and they're cool. They have the most insane protection program in all of eyewear. Every pair is backed by a lost and broke. Wait, lost? If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they just send you a brand new pair. That's insane. That's crazy town. Like, what are you talking about, Shady Rays? You can't just go around replacing people's sunglasses when they say they lost them. Take advantage of that right now, everyone.
I'm going to be sending them an email.
Yeah.
I definitely lost mine. I knew the broken was a thing. I didn't know the the loss.
Yeah, they are. That's unbelievable. So
Yeah.
I mean, literally worry-free sunglasses. You can wear. There are a lot of times where, like, you, especially in the summer, where you're like, it's gonna be that kind of level of like, we're going out, and I could use some sunglasses right now, but it's probably only could use them for an hour or two, and then after that, I'm gonna be at risk of losing them. You can just lose these. It doesn't matter. They'll just get you a new pair. Go to shadyrays.com/KFC for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. That's also humongously important for sunglasses that are usually reasonably priced. They're very rarely polarized. The difference between a polarized sunglasses and a not polarized sunglass is arguably one of the biggest differences in the world.
Yeah.
It's like first class and coach. It is incredibly different. So again, go to shadyrays.com/KFC, 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. All right, Bill. We talked about this a little bit at the Pride Parade because you kept telling everyone, don't get drunk, it's a work event. I don't think anyone listened to you, but I obviously am aware of your suspension. I'm aware of your situation. I am not fully aware of what happened, and we're going to see who was worse, me or you.
Yeah, we're not making light of the situation. My situation. We're not
No,
in the
we're
woods
this
yet.
is really
We're-
this is
I'm getting advice right now.
this is a warning tale to
Yeah.
all, because it is unfair at Barstool. I will be clear about that. When you're much younger, like I was when I had my situation, it's pretty difficult to work here and not drink. You get brought to drinking events, handed drinks, and you're not quite responsible yet. So you're put in a bit of a lose-lose situation. You can yes, people will say, "Oh, you're an adult," blah blah blah. But when you're an adult and you're barely an adult and you're taken to parties and events that you in your wildest dreams did not think you'd ever be going to, and then you're handed drinks, sometimes you lose a little control. But what happened with you?
Yeah, mine's way worse. I have no excuse. It wasn't even a work event. I just did show up on time. I'm taking total ownership.
Okay, let's hear it.
And yeah, so no, I just missed the time. I thought we were going at 2. I'm not going to make excuses. Again, look, I'm taking full accountability. I just had I was out all night, woke up the next morning.
So you weren't a regular thing. You weren't. I thought it was like a work thing the night before. I was
then that night so tired from being out all night the night before that we were doing a Zoom after the Celtics game, and I felt like was nodding off on the Zoom.
Oh, okay.
I should have just shut my camera off.
Oh, wait, falling asleep on camera? You can't do that?
Yeah,
Are you
but
looking? I've never fallen asleep on camera.
Jackie!
Wait,
oh yeah, I've seen that clip.
Wait,
I've seen that clip.
I fell asleep on camera.
Maybe it wasn't on camera, but it's in this room. You've fallen asleep before.
Well, yeah, but
Oh, no, but you weren't on camera. You're right. You just fell asleep. And then I remember you were editing the podcast later, and you're like, you tweeted it. You were like,
Yeah.
I was editing the podcast. No, because we were like, Jackie.
I have fallen asleep
we were-
multiple times.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's real.
We were like, Jackie, and you weren't replying, so we just moved on. And then I think, I think later
that's
you were like, I'm editing the
right.
podcast, and I can hear them talking about me, but I was asleep.
yeah, that's right. Oh, I've fallen asleep a lot.
And this was when you lived in California, so when you were just hungover.
No.
I'd be able to see you on the Zoom. Like you were clearly asleep.
Yeah.
I would glance over. I'm like, I see the brim of a hat just sticking up. And
Nick, it's fine. We don't need to. It's fine. We don't need to
Yeah, this isn't about Jackie. This isn't about Jackie. All right, Bill.
So what's your story? I think I already give myself worst story. Totally deserved suspension, everything. Don't want to belittle that.
Well, mine was that. Well, the funny thing is because mine was like, so I was. This is 2013. It was Bruins Blackhawks Stanley Cup Finals, and Dan and I had a bet about the outcome of the series. Whatever. I had to shave my. And then Dan also had a bet with Dave, and we were going to the Greg Olson kickball tournament that weekend in Chicago. And the bet for me was I had to shave my hair to look like Patrick Kane because I had like he did like the mullet in the playoffs with the racing stripes and stuff. A bet I knew I kind of just wanted the haircut, so I was like, either Bruins win the Stanley Cup or get that dope haircut. I'm fine either way. Dave's bet was that he had to dress in full Blackhawks gear and play in the kickball tournament and that. So we go out. I went out the G-Chat squad, G-Chat gang. Was me, Keith, Kevin, and Dan, and we all went out early to kind of like, if you could make the argument that was his first iteration of the Barstool Chicago office, but we just went out like one day early to work from Dan's office to go, because we always just talked on G-Chat together. We never got to hang out because we were all in different cities, and we were like, oh, maybe it's a fun little thing. Like we'll just go out and we'll all work together in Dan's house, and we'll go out in Chicago that night or whatever. And Dave was very mad at me because I went to that. I don't really know why, but my punishment for it was that I had to be up early the next morning at the kickball tournament at 7 a.m. I had to register the Barstool team, which I don't know why you had to register the team. It's like, why weren't we already registered? But whatever, that's not the point either. And we went out that night with the Stanley Cup. Like we're like partying. We ended up at like we started partying early in the day. We went out with Patrick Sharp, and then drinks were flowing. At one point on the bus, the like Sharp and a couple of the other guys wanted me to walk off the bus first when we got to a club, so the whole crowd would think it was Kane and go nuts, and then Kane would come off again. But then Kane was like, no, that dude doesn't look like me. He's fucking disgusting, which is a really mean thing to say. And then, but we did it anyway. When I got off the bus, thinking like, oh man, this is gonna be so cool. Like a whole city block in Chicago is gonna go bananas because they think I'm Patrick Kane. We were walking into like a secret Calvin Harris concert, and the first thing that I step off the bus. It's like a hush on the crowd. Everyone can clearly tell it's not Patrick Kane. It did not look as much like him as I thought it did, apparently. And then I just heard, that fucking Feidelberg? And I was like, all right, this is super embarrassing. Just run inside. But so then the night gets hazier from there. Kane told me I was disgusting one more time in case I'd forgotten. like we were at the party, this kid's me. He's like, hey, just so you know, like, you look really fucking gross. I was like, we look at least a little alike, just so we're clear here, dude. Like, we don't look that different. Night gets like hazier and hazier and hazier. But I want to say my last memory is, there were some things involved in the night that make nights progress. And then my last thing I remember is at like 5:30 in the morning, maybe 6. I don't really recall. I was standing in an alleyway eating a bowl of cereal. Like not a bowl, one of those like plastic bowls you get at the gas station kind of deal, or the bodega. Eating a bowl of cereal, and I just blacked out. And from there I was with a few Blackhawks, and from there it was went boom, lights out. And I have no idea what happened from then until 2 p.m. I think I woke up.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, dude.
Clearly, I did not make it to register the kickball team. They made it anyway. But I had like missed calls. I was in a rough spot. I was I was fully dressed in bed, on top of my comforter, on top of my sheets. And I was like, fuck. So I look at my phone. I think Dave had some tweets and shit like that. I don't really remember. Maybe I just had text, but I had enough information to know that things were not good for me. Like it was.
How old were you?
2013, 98, 2008, 25, 24, probably 24. So this would have been like June 2013, so 24. So I'm like, this is not good. But I so badly, and I'm so confrontation avoidant that I was just like, I'm just gonna go home. Like I'm gonna quit. Like Barstool was far from a formal company at that point. That I was like, I'm gonna go home. I'll never be heard from again. And that'll be it, because I just don't want to get yelled at by Dave. and then I was like texting Kevin, being like, "Yo, I'm out. Like I'm gone. I'll see you later. I'm gonna go to the airport and just fucking be done with this shit." And Kevin was like, "Just come, show up, take your licks. Like it won't be that bad." And then I do show up, and Greg Olson rolls up on a golf cart with Dave, and like Olson's like making fun of me. Dave's just not saying anything. Olson has a beer and is like, "Do you want a sip?" And I had such a bad hangover, I took a sip. And Dave still didn't say anything. And then, like, I don't know, he might have had a comment, but, like, I don't know, Dave never really talked to me again after that. Not that Dave liked me beforehand, but Dave, that probably played a significant factor in our relationship. But the thing that I was, like, because it was, like, a... we weren't. I mean, we were very much a real company, but like it wasn't like this. It wasn't. There weren't levels to the company aside from Dave. Everyone else. There wasn't like HR. There wasn't shit like that. And in my head, I was still like, oh, it's kind of like we're kind of just like the boys fucking around. Like it's not work. And this in particular was like a weekend event. And it was kickball, and I couldn't get into my mind, which I am now. I recognize looking back, I was in the wrong. But I was like, I just missed the kickball tournament. How big a deal? How is this so bad? And Dan was the one who was kind of like, dude, it's a work kickball tournament. I was like, even those 3 words are ridiculous. No one else can realize this. and it was, but it was one of those things where it's just like I could not grow up until I did that. And I feel like everyone has that work fuck up thing where you're like, all right, I'll fuck up at work one time, a couple times maybe. And then you kind of get it together, but like you'll be all right. You'll be all right.
How old did you start working at Barstool?
21.
Had you ever really like had a job like
No.
in a formal setting, like outside of college? Like
No.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the people who really are successful here, you guys included, like you get to that point where you thrive and have a self-discipline that is very hard to develop unless you're like at a place like here, which it's so like unstructured. It's not a 9 to 5 by any means, that you have to develop your own discipline.
Yeah.
As opposed to like getting out of school. I mean, like a lot of my like people who work non-content creator jobs, like you have such a structure that we really have to create for ourselves. So I mean, that's something that like I got to work on, and something that I think is very unique to my situation. It's
not easy, but then once you get it, but it's like any routine. Routine becomes a routine. But yeah, it's very much not the 9 to 5. Go have a beer with the boys, go home. 9 to 5, go have a beer with the boys, go home. You do have to create your own thing, but you'll be plenty all right, Bill.
I'm trying. But yeah, I think.
How is everything going with all of your other content?
Just I'm doing a lot of I mean, it's kind of, I'm not like taking the situation lightly, but I'm sort of like I was kind of excited with the premise of.
You're really not taking the situation lightly, because you keep saying I'm not taking the situation lightly.
No, I'm trying to just make sure it doesn't sound like I'm making excuses or making.
No, it doesn't.
But I was excited to just sort of do my own thing for a while and just sort of prove that like I could create content like solo, because I feel like no matter what happens, there'll always be like, oh, you just sort of were working with Big Head PFT, and sort of that's how it all came about. So I kind of been working on a couple projects. Blogging's been going good.
Yeah, I read the Jacked. Bro, I worked at GNC during the Jack days.
Dude, I want to get some Jacked.
Dude, I don't know way, dude. They have that stuff buried in a government building somewhere.
Or just the active ingredient. I want to find some of it and mix it with another pre-workout.
I remember when we got word, and the fact that Kevin likes to make fun of the fact that I worked at GNC comes up a bizarre amount on the show. Like it's weirdly relevant to a lot of different topics. But we worked there when we got like the call that Jacked had been dispelled or whatever it is, to like take it off the shelves, and we just took it all. Like we had we were the plug. We were the Jacked plug for a while. The only two things that like when people would come in like almost tweaking looking for were Jacked and Nositol, which is a vitamin B powder that they used to cut cocaine.
Yeah. I mean, what were some of the craze? Because that was way before a lot of the regulations hit. What kind of, were you selling like pro hormones and stuff straight out of the GNC?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. But I forget what they were called. I I here's the thing about people who work at GNC. Ken Jack used to work there too. I'm sure he can attest to this. We don't know what the fuck we're talking about. Like, they're not our careers. Like, it's not, like I'm going home and studying like the fucking chemical compounds of certain things. Like, I know what I was telling people to buy. Whichever ones would give me the biggest commission. Like, I was like, this is the biggest. This is the best one. Get this one. Like Hydroxycut gave you a huge commission. I was recommending Hydroxycut to anyone with a fucking stuffy nose. It's like it is.
Some like 13-year-old comes and he's like, I'm looking to like put on muscle mass. You're like,
Hydroxycut's what you need, bro, dude.
It's like-
I get you with Hydroxycut. I hit you with because you did have to reach like a quota of like GNC brand vitamins. And I'd be like, you know what's great with Hydroxycut? Vitamins. And that's what I would do to every single person who walked in. But like, I mean, if I don't even know if they could. I don't know if you like legally can try and hire people who are in shape or whatever. I was in shape at the time. I was working out at the time. But like you walk into a GNC, there can be like morbidly obese people in there.
Yeah.
No one knows what everything in there is illegal. Because none of it's FDA approved. So that doesn't make it illegal. But everything's got some fucking weird shit in it. And no one in there knows what they're talking about. None. Dude, I had a girl I worked with. She was the manager of... I worked in 2 different stores. I worked in 3 different stores, actually. I worked in one in the Providence Place Mall. I worked in one in East Providence. And I worked in one in Seekonk, Mass. And the girl was my store manager in Seekonk. By the way, at the Seekonk, Mass one, it was in a fucking... both East Providence and Seekonk were in like strip malls, and the East Providence one was a little more foot traffic. The Seekonk one, on days when I did a little too much drinking the night before, I'd go in and just put up a sign, be like, gone 15 minutes, and I would sleep for like 4 hours in the back. That store would be closed all day. But I asked her, my manager, the manager of GNC, I was like, what do you think the best way to put on a little more bulk to me would be? And she's like, you should have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches before bed. I was like, okay, that's not really the information you want from a GNC specialist. Like, you had peanut butter and jelly before bed? She goes, but don't use too much jelly. It's got a lot of sugar in it. I was like, I'm not an idiot. Like, I'm not a 3-year-old. We're 2 GNC employees here talking. Like, how about you recommend one of these things? You've been here your whole life.
There is a little fact that I did hear a thing about taking shots of olive oil before bed because you're trying not to get to that catabolic state or like where you have 0 nutrients when you're sleeping because that's like bad for your metabolism.
Well, I would at the time I would take protein shakes before bed. When I'm working out heavy, I take protein shakes before bed every time.
Yeah. What do you think's like the?
You want to get a little meathead with this?
Yeah,
I can see your eyes lighting up. Like, we can get meathead.
What's your like? What's like probably the craziest thing you've done to like try to get jacked?
Steroids?
Yeah.
On multiple occasions?
Which ones?
I did Winstrol. I did Russian Winstrol. Not inject. I never did inject. And then I did a cream that I honestly don't even think was ever actually a steroid at all. And then I also did Anavar, which is a steroid, but it's mainly for AIDS patients so they don't lose muscle mass. But that one was, we actually talked about this fairly recently. That was a Georgia, I heard about that because a Georgia cheerleader was taking it.
Oh, she popped for it?
Yeah, and dude, this chick, I saw her and I was like, that's the body I want.
Dude.
Like, look at this chick. Shred City, dude. Shred.
Male or female? Oh, she got popped for animal? Dude, I've actually been taking, and I still am taking. So remember that Russian hockey skater who got popped for PEDs? The figure skater? It was like a story. It was like the 14-year-old girl got popped for PEDs.
Yeah.
So I like looked into it and I was like, what is this stuff? So I started looking at the stack she tested positive for. And I wanted to like make some blog content. Like, I'm going to do the PED the Russian skater did. So I researched it. There's this one called L-carnitine that if you take as an injectable isn't legal in competition.
Carnitine isn't like regular shit, though.
Yeah. But if you inject it, it's supposed to be like a B12 shot. It's supposed to make you feel. So I found a place. So some of these like IV places, like hangover IV places, offer these shots. So like every, they're like, so I found them. They're like $20 a pop. So like on a Sunday, I was going and getting them like to when I'm hungover, like to work out, and I was getting them sporadically throughout the week, and they are amazing. This like what this like You could
You get
go
them in
play-
New York?
Yeah. Well, actually in New Jersey.
Okay.
But it was, I mean, this stuff actually works. Like, it's not an anabolic of any way, but it gets you, like, you just feel like you run through a brick wall and, like, lift for hours. It's like, I've done, we had Jack 3D back, like, my freshman year
Yeah.
of high school, and this stuff gets pretty goddamn close.
Really?
It's like, because it's
Does
like,
it give you the tingle?
no, it doesn't give you the beta.
tingles with the fucking...
Dude, so you can get that easily with beta alanine.
Yeah, I know, but the jacked one was different.
Yeah, because that was like the meth, like the little tweaker.
Yeah, it's a tweak, yeah.
Little tweak, like, you're not even getting the rep up, you're just tweaking it up.
Dude, if you ever wanted to be, you ever like wanted your life in danger, you should have been in the Florida State gyms in like 2006. It's just a bunch of monster meatheads ripped on jacked, tweaking their fucking minds out.
Dude, I mean, well, now there's SARMs goblins. So TikTok, so let me tell you about these compounds called SARMs because they're fucking dangerous. But you can buy, they're research chemicals, and a lot of them are medicines that have been haven't passed FDA regulations. They've failed in certain trials, but you can buy them easily online because they're supposed to be used in lab tests. So they're supposed to be like given to rodents to like conduct like college level experiments on the impacts of some of these compounds. And a lot of them were created as male birth control. So like, you know, if you like take steroids, it can make you go infertile.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely infertile.
So they were developing, not always, but they were developing male birth control, and that's what a lot of these SARMs are. So you can buy them online, like $50 a pop. And on TikTok, there's like guys ripping them, showing their progress, and like,
And,
you know,
and this is getting them jacked?
yeah, it's getting them jacked, which is crazy. But like some of it's like selective androgenous, endocrinological receptor modulators or selective androgenous receptor modulators, and they're oral. They're with a dropper, and like a bunch of like NFL players have gotten popped for them.
But you can just buy them at a store?
No, you can order them online.
Okay.
And so you see all
Like
these
order them
kids-
online where I ordered the Russian steroids from, or order them online from
No.
like a regular store?
like regular store, not on Amazon, but like there's tons of places you can just order them as easy as like you can even like use PayPal for some of them. It's like,
Bro, that's
wild.
not a like.
No,
I feel like you can use PayPal for a lot of nefarious things. It's like you can even buy it with Venmo.
yeah, no. But that's been like that's the new craze of like oral, because everyone's scared of steroids. But if you have something with a different name, like people are just like, oh, I wrote a blog on this. Like kids are getting seriously fucked up from this. Like there's guys who are like 23, 24 getting on TRT because they took SARMs,
What's CRT?
testosterone replacement therapy. I used to think you were on it before I knew you were doing some steroids back in the day. I don't know why. I was just like, because you have like a pump that like, you know, so Joey's on TRT. Joey Canasta.
Oh yeah.
It's like he's shooting up T like in the
But
studio.
is he? I don't
Pat.
think he is.
Yeah.
I looked at one of the needles.
It's
I think he has a multiple medications he injects.
no. I looked. He showed me the testosterone
Okay.
cyprinate or something.
He did. They came up to the Pints bar the other day,
Yeah.
and they did one. And I was like, "What the fuck was that?" I looked at it, and it was for something completely different. than that. But I think he also has the other kind.
Yeah, he has to use like a fucking long ass.
Yeah, that wasn't this.
That
no.
was scary as fuck. He always like, yo, do you want some steroids? I'm, no, I'm good. He like tries to like,
You thought I was just silently walking on TRT?
I don't know.
What does testosterone replacement therapy do?
Like, so if your like balls don't work anymore because you like did SARMs or did one of these like Winstrol or other androgen like type stuff, and it shuts down your natural production, Stu Finer's on it.
Okay.
That's why he has
always
so much
getting
energy.
testosterone.
Yeah, like those shots he
Yeah,
takes.
yeah.
Yeah, and it turns out like it's the fountain of youth. Like Joe Rogan's on it. Like the only downside to it is that, you know, you will feel like you're 18 if you're like 40 or 50, but like you're getting a heart attack quick.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, like your life expectancy goes way down.
That's a pretty huge downside.
Yeah,
But
like
to drop that with the only downside of it is your life goes way down.
No.
Like drugs don't take your life expectancy way down.
But Rogan says, like, people who ask him about it, like Joe Rogan, like, oh, is like testosterone bad for you? He's like, yeah, well, getting old's bad for you too. It's just like,
so I'm eliminating that from my life.
like, basically you like think you're a superhuman, but that whole like being old thing, like, you don't get that. like that's the trade-off.
Being old is bad for you. That's the argument for dying young. It makes sense. You live a healthier life if you just die young.
No, but have you ever checked your T levels?
Never.
Recently?
No, we've talked about doing it. Kevin and I have talked about doing it. I don't know. I don't know what mine would be. I would.
You probably had a point in your life after doing all that you like. Did you ever do a PCT?
No, fuck no. I didn't do them right at all. I didn't stop drinking during it. I fucked my body up doing those for sure.
Yeah.
I did not do them properly. It was not wise. If I could go back and do it, I would undo doing steroids. But there was no reason for me to do them. I didn't do, like, they worked. Like I always said, like, the example I always use is I just could never do pull-ups. Like, I couldn't do pull-ups. I could do like 3 or 4 max. That's it. And like one day on Anavar, and I was like ripping like 20, and then I would just like getting down. I was like, I'm like every part of me feels like it's made out of rock. Like it was fucking sick. However, but no, I never did a post psychotherapy. I never got checked. My liver is fine because I've got my liver checked recently for different reasons. But I would imagine that I did some pretty bad internal damage.
Yeah.
Luckily, I'll have a healthy life because I won't get to be old.
I don't know. You still. I mean, Arnold is still kicking. Like,
yeah,
Arnold
but I bet he was doing it right. Like,
yeah.
Again, I
don't think those guys were doing it right. Everyone says like
That's
they were
true.
doing so much, like all the stories of them partying and shit. Like they weren't doing it.
That's
right.
a good point. That's
Yeah.
a fucking good point.
I mean, like, and they're getting up there. I mean, most of them have to have like some heart surgery. So what's the really bad part about it is that it grows your heart, and that's where it gets tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I don't mean to scare you.
Oh, I'm not scared. I've already accepted it. Don't worry about it.
How much like years do you think you've taken? Like, I think about this a lot. Like, how many years do you think you've like taken off your life since you were born?
I don't know. I don't think that many because I go back and forth with a lot of shit where like I have very unhealthy habits, but like also I have a lot of healthy habits where I do exercise. When I eat, I usually eat pretty healthy. I drink a shitload of water. I definitely drink too much. I don't really do that many drugs anymore. Occasionally I will. I'll let it pop. But I think I'm fairly balanced.
Conservative 5.
5 taken off?
Yeah.
Yeah, more than that.
That's where I'm thinking.
Well, but also, where are we starting? Like, I think I'll probably die in my 60s. So I guess I've taken 20.
Yeah. Well, I think you got more than that. Because plus modern medicine, got to bet on it.
Yeah.
Got to bet on it. But
SARMs.
no,
How many have you taken off?
I've probably taken off 5 to 10 range. But you know who lives freaking long? Alcoholics.
People who don't want to live, yeah.
No,
Yeah,
like
it's the curse.
yeah, like there's people like straight up don't eat. They just like face vodka every day. Like my friend's a doctor. He's more like a family friend, but he's this old guy who just talks about all his patients who just like are 85 and just slugging vodka every day and they don't eat. And like he's like, I think the secret to living a long time is not eating. 'Cause these guys just don't eat. They just drink.
They they look very unhealthy though. Like you ever see like an 85-year-old alcoholic with like it's just skin and bones and then this fucking huge gut.
Yeah.
That like I was actually reading about that when people were getting so mad about essential businesses and stuff in the quarantine. Mm-hmm. Like why so and so store was closed but liquor stores were allowed to be open.
Yeah.
And it was like because they're essential for alcoholics. Like they need to get their alcohol or they die. And it was like talking about how like because they don't eat, what their body does is their body is just eating itself. And that somehow, again, I'm not a fucking scientist, but that somehow is what causes like the beer belly, the almost like the protrusion of a belly. Yeah, is because of like it's eating its own. You're eating your own body,
cirrhosis,
and you can't process it.
Yeah. But that eating your own body prevents cellular replication, where the cells like split, and that's usually when cancer happens. So that's what I think does it. Because if your cells are disappearing because you're eating it, they can't replicate and like cause the DNA conscription thing that causes cancer.
That makes sense.
So,
Sure.
I mean, like, you hit the age of like 80, you're just like, fuck it. Like my grandma, she like had bad cholesterol but loves ice cream. She turned 80 and she's just like, fuck it, going with the ice cream every day. I'm just like, you do you, grandma.
Has it gone well so far?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Good for her. You're like, nah, she lasted a week. It was pretty quick. But all right, Billy, thank you very much for coming by.
Thank you for having me.
It's
Appreciate
been a blast
it.
talking to you. I'm going to shake your hand. I don't know why. I've never done that before.
You got to. I mean, I thought handshaking was going to go extinct during the pandemic.
Yeah,
'Cause remember people were talking about
Yeah,
that?
they said that the handshaking cities. What else was it? There are a few other things that they're like, that's gonna be an old fashioned thing. No, it's not.
Yeah,
It's not. We're
no,
good.
it's been pretty crazy. I went like podcasting like 15 hours a week to 0. Like I got addicted to that, just like talking.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like sitting at a computer all day, going nuts. So thank you for having me on.
Thank you very much, Bill.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you to Billy. That was very enlightening. It very quickly turned into an episode of Joe Rogan.
You guys going full meathead.
It was like it was Rogan very fast. Where I was kind of like, all right, but he was Rogan. I was like, and I was the guest being like, I don't know what you're talking
That
about.
was like a different language. I've like never heard half those words.
But okay,
One of the things he was telling you about, like I posted the clip from Tuesday's episode about me trying to lose weight, and Jetski had said like, let's do some SARMs or something. I was like, is that a disease? And he's like, I'll swing by and tell you.
I'll
and
do
then
SARMs.
just totally unrelated, Billy comes in. He's like, you ever hear of SARMs? and I'm like, all right, listen. I'm like, oh, it's poison. All right, never mind. Yeah, I'm not going to jump in on that.
All right, this is the time for Am I the Asshole? One way you would be the asshole is if you are not eating FFUPS. Bam! Put it on the board. Jackie, toss me some FFUPS. FFUPS, here's the thing to know about FFUPS. 1, they're delicious. 2, they're not healthy. Do not get it twisted. I wasn't even looking.
You had your hands
I
out.
did not have my hands out. I was not looking. They are not healthy. Okay? Very clear about that. They are an unhealthy snack that is also delicious. They have grocery store cheddar. They have instant hot chocolate. They have professional salt and vinegar. That's my favorite flavor. I actually haven't had the cinnamon one yet.
The salt and vinegar is is a strong salt and vinegar too.
The cinnamon, I don't know if I read this one already, but what's it called? Unambiguous cinnamon toast. This one is fire. Sorry, I'm gonna stop eating during that read. Professional salt and vinegar, semi-historic sour cream and onion, and unambiguous cinnamon toast crunch, all in hilariously big bags. I just read my favorite flavors, so I'm not gonna do that again. But the salt and vinegar, and you actually, Jackie, good job. Like you just accidentally tossed me my 2 favorite flavors. So
I know.
good job. You did not know that going into it. If you can't pick one flavor, get the try them all bundle. I strongly suggest that. In fact, I'll be totally honest with you. We got these as an advertiser, I was like, I had some hesitation about hot chocolate and cinnamon toast, or cinnamon. What are they? Unambiguous cinnamon toast puffs. I was like, I kind of just had the image of cheese puffs in my head, and I was like, how does that work with these? It fucking works. It really, really works. Try FFUPS at FFUPS. It's FFUPS.com/KFC. Use code KFC for 15% off. That's FFUPS.com/KFC and use code KFC15 for 15% off. Jackie is going to read us our Am I the Assholes today.
All of them?
You got 2, right? I got 1.
Okay. I'm really not great at reading
you don't
in
say.
front of people out loud. And this one's cringe to read out loud. Okay, I just sent it. 1 second. I haven't read through the whole thing, so I don't know if it's like bad or not. Okay, I'll just start reading.
Yeah, that's the move.
Okay, am I the asshole for refusing to talk to my boyfriend because he won't stop using the phrase, do you want some Pwingies? Do you want some Pwingies?
This is unbelievable.
I think that when I was young, my mom wouldn't even let me talk in baby voice when I was like 3,
Yeah.
and so this really like goes against everything. I'm like,
I get that. I have a similar aversion to baby voice.
I hate
It
baby
is-
voice.
I don't find it cute. I would never do it.
do you want some Pwingies for the room, which is short for Pringles? You couldn't tell. Okay, am I the ass? Okay, sorry, I said that.
You want some Pwingies?
Yeah.
Some Pwingies.
Me and my boyfriend were on holiday, and a few months ago. Sorry, and we were in an all-inclusive resort, and we were standing in one of the shops in the lobby where you can buy extra snacks and stuff. A very posh British man walked in with his 12-ish-year-old son, and they were looking around the shop. They went over to where the crisps were, and the boy seemed very interested in the Pringles. The father asked him in a very cutesy, possibly over the top. I just want to get ahead. Like, I think I have like a little bit of dyslexia, so it's like.
I appreciate you just skipping the town Tenerife. Tenerife. she skipped right over that one. Didn't even give it a shot.
It was so dumb.
That's okay. That's a Ed Sheeran song that I probably just learned how to pronounce. I was like Tenerife.
I can't believe you just called me out on that. Okay. So the father asked him in a very cutesy, possibly over the top for his age voice, do you want some Do you want some
No, all right. How about this? You have to do it in a British accent. Do you want some Pwingies?
Do you
want some
Do you
Pwingies?
want some Pwingies? No. Do you want some Pwingies? Yes, he called Pringles Pwingies. Okay. Me and my boyfriend found this quite funny. The first few days were fine. They were both joking about it and kept repeating it to one another, as it was a funny way to refer to Pringles, especially as the man was talking to his son like he was a baby. This was the start of our 2-week holiday. He did not stop saying, do you want some Pwingies for the room? For the whole 2 weeks we were on holiday. He would literally say it at least once a minute. He would even torment me by starting a sentence completely unrelated to it and then finishing it, do you want some Pwingies for the room? As a sort of sick punchline. It's now been over 3 months since we've returned, and he will not stop saying, do you want some Pwingies for the room? It's driving me insane. I begged him to stop, and he honestly thinks I'm just playing along with this joke. I can't have a serious conversation with him because he always manages to slip in, do you want some Pwingies? This is a 5-year-long relationship, and I am absolutely fine and I was absolutely fine up until this point. This is the man I want to spend the rest of my life with, but now I don't even want to see him because I'm afraid he'll say, do you want some Pwingies? I'm now refusing to talk to him unless he stops. I'm honestly afraid that he's going to stop, but then just carry on. Am I blowing this out of proportion? Am I the asshole?
I mean, this dude is a fucking legend.
Yeah.
This dude is a right legend. He is fucking awesome. I can see
it getting to be a bit much.
yeah, well, because there's a competitive nature of relationships where, like, when someone's having too much fun with something that you don't love as much as them, it becomes pretty fucking annoying. Obviously, like, why are you?
But
having
then it becomes more fun to
But
do.
then it becomes more fun to them. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it is the
He needs to
He's-
stop for 3 months and then just drop it on her. And it's going to bring the house down or end the relationship.
he has to.
It'll be very funny for him.
But it's a very simple thing to do, like when you're in a relationship. And I think we talked about this with Michael Che a little bit. Is like when someone likes something that you don't like, the proper move is to just very subtly belittle it until it ruins it for them.
You start pointing out like plot holes in TV shows. Like,
Yeah.
it's like they're pretty
And
lazy with that.
Make them feel dumb for enjoying it.
It kind of like I would listen. Well, actually, this reminds me of 2 things. But like I would listen to like this podcast and like another like podcast, and then all my friends, like every time I had headphones, and they'd be like, "Oh, are you listening to your little podcast?"
Yeah.
For like a long time, and then I like stopped listening because I was kind of like embarrassed that I would be listening to my little podcast.
Exactly right. Your friends did it
Yeah.
properly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it also reminds me of, so there was a song, I don't know if anybody's heard of it, but it's like Bring That Ass Back, like, or it's like Yeah, bring that ass back like boom, 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 boom. Does anybody know the song? Okay, nobody knows that.
Not when you state it like that.
Yeah, he knows it. What?
Who's it by?
I don't know who's by. What?
Tiesto?
Yeah, it's yes. So then my friends had a joke that like, or I would just like, it's not gonna be funny when I explain it.
Nah, do it, Jack. Let's hear it.
Oh, it's
Come
not gonna be
on.
funny when I explain it.
No, I mean you're too deep now.
Yeah.
Basically, like we all like would joke about it, be like, and then I started being like, "Can you do me a favor?" And then like do the whole bring that ass back like boom, 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 boom. And it was like really funny the first few times, and then I really found it funny. So then it was like every time I was like for like all of senior year, like it was like kind of like high tension, and like I would be like, "Can you just? Oh my God, can you do me one quick favor, real quick?" And I'd be like stressing out, and then I would hit them with the bring that ass back like boom, 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 boom.
That's funny.
Yeah, right? And then, but I think I like really overdid it to the point where they're like, "Shut the fuck up." Okay. But I still find it funny.
Yeah,
I-
that's good. That's very good.
I had that roommate in college that did that with some things, but like, and we'd get very tired of it, but then it would come back around.
Yeah, it's like a Family Guy joke.
Yeah, but now I have realized he still makes the same jokes. And like, I see him, I'm like, are you gonna, every time I ask where something is, are you always gonna say in your butt? It's pretty funny the first few times, but like sometimes I just need my keys. Just like, have you checked your butt?
These are all good. All these are the D1s and Pwingies. Just bring that ass back like boom, boom, boom. In your butt. Yeah, that all works. So this guy he's both the asshole and not the asshole, which is the perfect place to live. But I would definitely say since I currently right now find it funny, not the asshole. When you're intentionally pissing off your girlfriend, but like, but she has a move. Like, I feel like you're only the asshole when you put someone in a situation where they don't have a move, and her move is like what you do when you can't explicitly tell someone you love you don't like something. She's trying that too, but when that doesn't work, you start saying very little jabs about it. and
you gotta start just belittling Pringles altogether. Just like find a way to talk shit about them and like get them out of your house.
It is.
Like,
it's an easy thing. It's a fucked up thing, but it's an easy thing to do. You can fix the problem. Or no.
Did you just try transition?
Yeah. Next in my asshole. So this one's a Father's Day one, so it's a bit old, right? 2 weeks old, something like that. Am I the asshole for being dissatisfied with my Father's Day gift? Last year, my wife got me 2 gift certificates for a float tank. While I enjoy floats, I do not care for gift cards. I also do not. Not that I don't care for gift cards. I don't care.
What's a float tank?
Like Levinson.
Yeah, got it. All right.
Like that's what I imagine. Like sensory deprivation.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah.
I do not care for gift cards, which I agree with. But it's not like, oh, you don't care about me. It's just I do not use it, so you're wasting your money.
Yeah.
I no longer use gift cards.
I love a gift card. Love a gift card.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
They will be gone. I will misplace them before I'm done unwrapping presents or whatever it is. Like, they will not be used. They will not come out of that little cardboard package. You are wasting your money. Do not. If you don't want to give me a gift, fine. I don't give a fuck.
It's that, or it's in my wallet or dresser for about 3 years until I see it again.
Dude, I still have I think I still have I would say I still have. Well, I don't still have. There's somewhere in my apartment, but like $1,000 in gift cards for 2 separate things.
When I moved to New York, like my family all gave me like gift cards and stuff for going out and buying things. I think they're all in my dresser, and that's 4 years ago now. So I think I got a $25 to Target somewhere.
I expressed to her that if she had talked with me and planned the day for me, put in the effort to the gift, it would be different. For example, her Mother's Day gift last year was a spa day that she just had to show up for. That's kind of something the same thing. I questioned her to find out when she was free, then planned her day and gifted it to her. Flash forward to this year. She gifted me 1 float gift card. I was less than thrilled. The dollar amount is irrelevant. It's the apparent lack of effort. When I approached her to ask her why, again, the same thing as last... This is definitely like second English. To ask her why, again, the same thing as last year, she remembers the conversation but offers no reason why she would get me the same thing this year if she remembered that I don't like gift cards. Talk went to shit. Loud noises ensued. And now we are both upset with the other. She thinks I should just be grateful, and I think she needs to listen to me. Tell me, denizens of Reddit, am I the asshole?
So wait, did he use the gift cards though?
He did not specify.
Because, yeah, if he used the gift cards, then it's not shocking she got you another.
I
She might think you like it.
If your wife gets you 2 gift cards for Father's Day and you tell her you don't like that, and then next Father's Day she gets you 1 gift card, you have to divorce her.
Yeah.
That is
She might be trying to
clearly
belittle you.
an act of violence. Oh, sorry, you didn't like the 2 gift cards to this fucking.
I really
it's-
hope she just found the gift card that he didn't use and was like, here you go. Just gave him the same one. Just the fucking.
I mean, like, it sounds like. I think did he say he likes float tanks? While I enjoy floats, yeah. What an insane thing to say. I just enjoy a good float. That is, I think that's an act of war. That's an act of they had that conversation 1 year ago, and she remembered it, and she wrote it down, and she's like, I've been wanting a divorce for a while. Here's how I'm going to kick things off.
Yeah.
He said he didn't like the 2 float gift cards. For Father's Day next year, I will get him 1 single float gift card. He will have no choice but to despise me, hate me, be furious, and then from then on, we'll be done.
How much does a float cost? Like, that's why, like, to get like the gift card is just a strange.
But it's also the same exact birthday. Like what? He just didn't ask. I'd rather have an open-ended card, which again I won't use.
True.
Like I don't want it to be like, I don't like making plans. Even when you guys text like, hey, are you free this day? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, yes, I am.
Yeah.
But who knows what's going to come up between now and then? So I can't tell you yes for sure. But I mean, you can't just fucking get your husband half the gift card, half the present you got him for Father's Day last year.
Yeah, that's tough.
Unless one of your kids died.
Yeah.
This reminds me. I think I've actually told this.
Yeah, get him more than you save some money on one birthday.
I think I've actually told this story before, and I wasn't fully paying attention to this because I was trying to find the other one, so I don't even know if this is relevant. But the biggest fight my sister and I have ever had was trying to get my dad a. I definitely have told this story before. Trying to get my dad.
Is this where did you and your
tie
sister
clip?
tell me this after at the bar?
No, that's
No.
the birthday one.
Oh yeah.
I don't
They
remember.
threw
That's
you
like
a birthday
real
party
blood.
and they didn't throw her one.
That was our biggest fight, actually.
Yeah.
No. So we were trying to figure out what Father's Day gift to get my dad, and she decides to already buy him without asking me a $200 tie clip, which he's never once in his life worn a tie clip. So I was like, that's a dumb question. This also isn't even going to mean anything to you guys. I'm just kind of worked up again thinking about it. But I said, don't get the tie clip. She said, I already got the tie clip. And I was like, but he's never worn a tie clip in his life. It was $200 and I had to spend $100 on it for the tie clip, and he has never once used it.
Yeah, you just got to give him $200.
This made you think of that.
What?
This made you think of
I
that.
have no idea what this is about. I have no idea what this is about. But I just thought about that.
But you know what that made me think of is that I mentioned last episode that I was home for my mom's birthday this weekend, and I have luckily I have a sister who does everything, and then just kind of Venmos us for there's 4 of us, and she's kind of Venmos us for all the gifts afterwards, and she's very good, she's incredible at it. She's very thoughtful gifts and stuff I would never think of.
Is this the one that got you the cardigan? And
No, that's my other sister.
Gotcha.
but
Family's good at gifts.
Yeah. I don't get a lot of gift cards, but when I do, I don't use them. But usually it's I don't know, it's nothing crazy. Not that I care, but it's usually $50 for we all get a $50 Venmo, whatever, and you kind of just pay it and go on. There's a $300 Venmo this year. I was like, dude, did you Venmo all of us 300? What'd you get her? She's like, it's just good. Don't worry about it. There's a watch and it's nice, but I was that was a surprise. The price of the gifts we get has gone up significantly. So congratulations on the promotion, Hannah.
Yeah, right. That's a jump from 50 to 3. It's
Now, mind you, also it was a 60th birthday, so went a little different. But anyway, last time on the asshole.
I still haven't found it, but
Why don't you just find another one?
I got one. Right. Somebody asked me this 2 weeks ago.
Wait.
It's more of a hypothetical, but it can work for this. If you are hooking up with a girl, like strictly booty call, like late night, 3 a.m., you guys just met one time, and then that's now your sneaky link. Like, you guys just text each other around 2 a.m., there's no talking, you guys just have sex, fall asleep, wake up the next morning. This goes on for 2 months. And then she dies. Do you go to her funeral?
That was a curve I did not
If you
expect.
don't go to her funeral, are you an asshole? But you guys don't have any really connection. You guys have just had sex a bunch of times, never really spoken. Do you go to your sneaky link's funeral is the question.
As someone who very recently tweeted, why didn't Efron go to the funeral in that awkward moment, I feel like you always go to the funeral.
Yeah.
I think you have to.
You don't know any of her friends, though.
No, I could, and here's you don't have to, right? Like, the friends don't care if you're there. Like, because I've had this exact situation happen where
Nice bad.
no. It is when my buddy
Pav's just serving him up this
when my buddy died. He was with a girl that night, and which is a shit way for her to wake up, but with a dead body in bed. But yeah. And she came to the funeral, and we were cool with her, and like we're like, hey, like that's very nice of you to come. They'd hooked up a little bit, but like they were more or less like did not really know each other. I don't think it was quite a one night stand, but it was essentially a one night stand. And we were like, you know, we're thankful she came, but like now it's a funny story. Thankful is not the right word. We didn't care one way or the other, but now it's just like a funny story that we tell. We're like, do you believe she fucking came to the funeral? I was the last one that fucked the dead guy. But so yeah, I think you always go to the funeral, and then maybe worst case scenario is you end up being a funny story their friends tell.
Yeah. I feel like in that situation, would you just make up how you know him? Like, or...
Well, we one of my buddies was with them that night, so he's like, I know who that is. So we went over and talked to her because she knew no one else there.
Gotcha.
And yeah, that is, you go, and then it's just like, plus funerals are kind of fun.
The right ones, yeah.
Yeah, like that. I'll tell you what, that was a fun funeral.
I went to one recently, and it was like all the boys getting back together.
Yeah, there can be boring ones like when an old person dies, but young person funerals are fun.
Yeah, no, you're right. Thinking of my grandma's funeral, I'm like, fucking did the rosary like 6 times.
Yeah,
like,
an old person funeral, boring. Young person funeral,
people kept saying they knew me.
Rocks.
I didn't know them. I was like, all right. Fucking
yeah.
Young ones.
Oh, you got so big since I saw you. I'm an adult man now. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's also Italian
We don't have a
funerals
relationship.
versus- Italian funerals versus like Irish funerals.
Irish
Italian
funerals
are
drinking.
miserable.
Really?
Nobody smiles. Everybody's extra dramatic, obviously. Everybody's crying. And there's good food though. But Irish funerals, everybody's drinking, having a good time, remembering the life.
Yeah.
Italian
Yeah.
funerals, it's like, this is about me. This
Yeah.
death is going to be about me.
Dude, we had I said old people funerals aren't fun, but my grandmother's, we had she's from New Orleans, and we had like a full on like New Orleans, we had like the fucking
Really?
what do you call it? Like
The New Orleans funeral?
at the Reap, not New Orleans because the funeral wasn't in New Orleans.
Gotcha.
But we just had like the jazz bands come at the repast,
Yeah.
and we were like fucking rocking out.
Oh, that's
That
amazing.
was fun. And then yes, Irish and New Orleans, in my experience, are fun. I don't know if I've ever been to an Italian funeral because I keep Italians out of my life.
Well, I found out that Italian American Heritage Month is in October, and I'm gonna make that month so much about me. I'm showing up drunk for a whole month, making you guys all come to the parade with me. And
Can you imagine if we all go to the Italian parade?
we're gold chains.
We just really support Italian heritage month.
Change the KFC Radio Twitter logo. Oh man! All right, voicemails time. Voicemails are brought to you by the Barstool Sports Store. I am about to go do a photo shoot for this momentarily, and if you know anything about me, I love these photo shoots. So if there is anything to get me to stop doing photo shoots, it would be for you to buy more stuff in the Barstool Sports Store. We have new Sad Boy shirts and shorts coming out, Sad Boy bathing suits, Sad Boy hats, a bunch of Moon Man stuff, Met stuff. I don't know. They just keep giving me Sad Boy hats. I honestly don't know which ones are on sale and which ones aren't. Those ones aren't on sale. I don't know. There's we have to. I know that they're probably not on sale yet. Like, as you listen to this ad, it's probably not on sale, but it will be coming on sale. We got terry cloth shorts, corduroy shorts. Got fucking.
Got a lot of cool stuff coming.
Got some button-down shirts, all kinds of shit. You can get your cornhole sets, everything you need for summer. We got Sad Boy drinking glasses. That's a Whistle Pig one. Sad Boy stuff around. There is that one? Yep. Boom. Sad Boy season. Sad Boy on the bottom. Very nice. Very classy. But shop KFC Radio and the rest of Barstool's summer items at store.barstoolsports.com. I'm not going to read that twice because you know what it is.
Just finished up the Marilyn Monroe episode. Great one. So I've gotten into this weird habit of getting super stoned and then watching old kids movies. And they're 10 times better now. So I'm just wondering what movies, old movies that you watch that now you get jokes or find funnier that you didn't the first time you watched them. Okay.
I have absolutely no answer for that because I do not watch things that I saw when I was younger.
I recently saw.
I'm
It ruins them.
I can imagine it ruining it a bit, but I can't tell you like a movie I watched that was like it's probably because I don't smoke weed really.
Yeah.
But I got nothing.
I don't run to like kids movies when I'm high. I like watching like newer shit, like something like Interstellar or something that like I just zone in on for a few hours. But like kid shit, even getting high and watching kids stuff. Like, if you didn't see it when you were a kid, you're not going to like it. I saw Good Burger as an adult. I was like, this is trash. I saw the first Mighty Ducks when I was an adult. I was like, not for me.
Yeah, I can see that.
D2, I like still the nostalgic. I love it. But even when I watch that, I'm like, yeah.
It's a bad movie.
I love when people poke out the plot holes in that movie. There's so many fucking just like them changing jerseys and all that shit. Yeah, I don't really go back to old ones. I guess there's stuff like Mrs. Doubtfire and stuff like that has a lot more like adult references. But I also just saw that for the first time this year.
Does that one hold up? The adult man dressing like a woman? To see his children?
That'd be a crime.
Yeah.
Like a major one.
What were you going to say, Paz?
Scooby-Doo from 2002.
Yes,
There was like
the
a
live
Twitter
action.
thread that's like that you go back and every like 5 minutes there's like a tits joke or a weed
Yeah.
joke or like a sex
Really?
joke. Yeah.
So that's
Hidden inside of it. There's like 20 references. It
was
went
that James
completely
Gunn?
over my head.
James Gunn.
That
did
was
that?
the dude
Or
from
no,
that we had on. Forgetting his name right now. He was in I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh no, Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah,
No, I'm saying
yeah.
who wrote it. I think was James Gunn. He actually wanted to make, or he might have directed it. He wanted them just to straight up smoke weed in the movie. And there's even a scene where they're panning in on the mystery machine, and there's smoke coming out of it.
yeah.
And then it's Shaggy talking to Scooby, and it's like because Shaggy's high out of his mind.
Really?
So instead, they like cut to, and I think they're eating sandwiches or something. Like they're like, no, we can't have Shaggy actually smoking weed. Yeah, he's a stoner, but like we can't show him doing it. But yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in that movie that's really good.
That is.
I think Scrappy's just a horny fucking pervert the entire movie.
I did not know this at all.
I can remember like I have 2002. I'm 3 at the time, 4, and just watching that, and then watching like at 7. Like that was the first time I was like, dude, this shit's pretty sick.
When
Like,
you were
know,
7, you were like
7, like get like the girl like. He turns into the girl's body. I'm like, fuck, I wish that could happen to me. Like, I wish I could see a girl naked and shit. I remember at 7 years old being like,
I wish
fuck.
that could happen to me.
Wish I could see a girl naked because he's like, I get to look at myself naked now.
Yeah,
Like,
because well, that's also where Linda Cardellini plays like Velma, so she's a dork, and then they're just like, we're just gonna have a random scene where she's in a leather like tight ass jumpsuit, and everyone's like, oh shit, Velma's hot because it's fucking Linda Cardellini. It's
Who's
like,
Linda Cardellini?
she's Jess's sister, New Girl.
Oh yeah, I love Linda Cardellini.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I got nothing. I really can't tell you. I stick to the furthest back I go, which I guess is pretty far back. But I do not. If I do anything older, I do nothing but middle of the road to bad. Nothing higher than like 70% on Rotten Tomatoes. action movies.
Yeah.
That's all I watch. I don't watch anything. I don't find things from like. I think I only think like humor got invented in like the 2000s. Like there are like I mean that's obviously incorrect.
A lot of
shit.
90s humor was a lot more slapstick too.
Yeah,
where it's just
right.
like literally a kick in the balls, and like that is funny.
It was very funny.
Yeah, but like you need a little more.
I think comedy has come quite a way. So I don't want when I'm going back in time to watch movies, I'm watching just fucking shoot 'em up shit.
What's up, KFC Radio gang? Got a quick story and question for you. So I grew up raised super religious and homeschooled, which is a great combination to set me up for success in life. But anyways, when I was like 12, we got a DVD player that was equipped with TV Guardian. Now what this did was it bleeped out bad words so you could watch it. And don't know how it worked, but you would think it was so you could watch movies that were saying like fucking shit. No, we used it so that we were allowed to watch Cool Runnings and didn't hear ass in it. Anyways, what is a piece of technology or any kind of invention that you think is absolutely ridiculous, but that probably had success just by pandering to certain groups of people for insane reasons? Curious to hear your thoughts.
What did he say? What was his example?
The thing that
TV
Guardian.
Right. It is crazy what people were allowed and not allowed to watch. Like we couldn't watch like anything, but like like, we didn't have fucking TV.
My family was strict on everything. Couldn't watch wrestling and shit because
I couldn't watch wrestling, but that was only after I was like we were like breaking stuff.
Yeah, we were beating the shit out of each other. That's why
we broke multiple.
They
beds,
cut that quick.
And they were like, all right, you guys have to stop watching.
I think I grabbed my cousin like by the arm and literally like flung him and slammed him in the ground. And they're like, all right, we're gonna stop doing this.
But that was it. Like I mean, I could watch like the right rated R movies with my dad.
That's my
it wasn't like some we couldn't watch like fucking movies that were basically about sex, but like I could watch rated R like action movies and shoot 'em up movies.
My parents were like very strict about it, and like we pretty much watched Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, or like.
Dude, I had a cousin who couldn't even watch fucking Nickelodeon because Angela was too mean. Angela in Rugrats.
Oh yeah.
She was too mean. And it was like they're gonna learn how to be mean or something.
I think
that this plot was she's a mean person.
My
that's
dad.
The story. It's like when they have like that bad guy in the show, like that white guy said the N word. Like he's an awful racist.
Yeah.
He's a bad person. He's not the hero of the story. Bad people exist.
She's the villain. And the whole they needed somebody to be mean to the babies. Like, that was it. My dad actually had something like that with Rugrats, but it was just because like later on we found out he's like, go watch a clip of that show. It's the most annoying sounding people on the planet. I was done listening to it. I'm like, all right, I respect that. He just made some shit up.
I love that meme where it's like all the dads from Rugrats in the pool. And it's like, you thought they were all like 50. They're all your age now.
Yeah.
Dude, that was something crazy when I think someone said, it was Ricky Velez. Was like, dude, if the Constitution was being written today, they'd all be vaping because they're like 18 years old and 20 years old. Like you think of the Constitution written by like these old people, like a lot of them are like early to mid 20s. Imagine early to mid 20s people just creating all our laws today.
What the fuck, dude?
Jackie, you make the rules. You two make the rules for this whole company. It's crazy.
Like, it is. And then for hundreds of years, we're going to listen to that 21-year-old dude from Britain who, by the way, owned people.
Yeah.
So maybe he didn't have all the best ideas.
We swiped that. We put that one under the rug a lot. Yeah. Even at Washington's house, there's just like one person that's like supposed to represent all the slaves there. They're just like, but they just wanted to look like, oh, he just had like a helpful house servant. Really? It's like, no, like he had a plantation. Yeah, like, it's crazy.
Wait, what was it?
Invention that you're surprised.
Surprised did well. I don't know. I never even heard of this one, so it couldn't have done that well. Maybe in the religious homeschool community.
I remember commercials for it. That might have ran before like VeggieTales VHSs or some shit. Because I do remember hearing about it.
Oh, fucking... I had a buddy who had one of those really fast rewinders.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
so we could rewind videos before we brought them back to Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Whereas like you got like a fine if you didn't. Yeah, Jackie.
She's looking like she has no idea.
If you didn't rewind the video before you brought it back to Blockbuster or whatever your video store of choice was, then you got
it was like a $5 fine.
Yeah, it was like more expensive than just if you took it home that night.
Yeah.
And rewound it. But so like next to his VCR, he had a different like crazy fast rewinder. It was like 2 seconds.
No, I remember that. That's my grandma had that, and we just thought that was fun. Like we just rewound shit for her all the time. She'd just be like, "There's a stack right there." I'm like,
rewind. I'm like, man, why?
I'm like, thanks for having us over, Grandma. Like we're sitting there like, oh, this is awesome.
A black box is a pretty hype.
What do you mean you had to rewind it? Like
the tape.
And then, what if you stopped halfway through? Then it would be halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
And then you would were you able to fast forward and go?
Yeah.
back?
Are you talking about like VHS? The VHS, okay.
Right?
So you had
You had to do it manually.
No,
not by
You
hand.
just hit
No, no.
rewind.
Hit
but, like,
rewind. And
it
you have
took.
to bring
I mean, it didn't even take that long.
If
I
it
don't know why
ain't the tape, you had to do it. You had to like fix it and like get a screwdriver and like.
I thought you guys were pulling shit out going like this.
No.
Rewind 5 seconds.
Jesus Christ. But the black box was a pretty specific thing too.
Yeah.
Which is it was like an illegal thing that you could get all the pay for channels that you didn't pay for them.
You know what we had? My dad's electrician buddy that worked at the cable company that just literally ran the line.
Yeah.
It was very like I think we got caught with it at one point. It wasn't great. But
we had a black box at my buddy's house that we watched. I went to watch WrestleMania once, and I guess like a black box, if it's connected to multiple TVs, it can only be one TV. So like if someone in the other room is watching this channel on the black box and you're also on the black box, it goes to whatever channel they just put on. Right. And then if someone changes the channel, it goes to that channel. They're both connected to one channel.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So me and my buddy were watching WrestleMania, and then I guess his dad went into his room and started watching the Spice Channel. Oh. And so it was very much out of like Tommy Boy with like Chris Farley and David Spade being like you want to change the channel? Like, I'd never seen porn before. I was like, do you want? He's like, I don't care. And it was anal porn. And I just thought for a while until I saw another porn for the rest of my life. I just thought I like probably a year stretch where I just thought like that was the sex hole. It was an anal porn with a receptionist on his desk. She had a hairy vagina, and that was I thought you did sex.
Porn. Was Spice Channel the one that had like that you could get the scrambly channels on, like Naked News and stuff like that?
I honestly
Lenny just interviewed that girl.
Who?
Naked News girl. I don't know. Apparently she was. I assumed it was like different people, but I guess it was just her. I think.
Oh yeah. No, I think it's different people. I think she might have like kind of adopted it. But I think back in the day they were different people.
Because I remember like it'd be a sleepover. Everyone's like, "All right, fucking wait for the scrambly to like fix itself."
I had a TV in my bedroom that
just watching the TV guide flip
it was
through.
Just scrambly, and like it was like, but you could get on that channel and you just watch porn, and I was like. At a young age, probably like 13, I was like, what am I doing, dude? Get your fucking life together, bro. Just staring at a scramble, hoping to catch a fucking fuzzy nip. Like,
dude, before the guide, it was you were literally watching TV guide, like, what's on tonight? What's on? Oh, I'm just checking, like, Cartoon Network. It's like, my mom would be like, why are you watching the guide? I'm like, no reason. I'm like, waiting for it to get past the 99, because sometimes they show the 200 channels then. And then I could plan out my night. It was ridiculous.
All right, last voicemail, and then everyone have then it'll be Andy Lederman interview, and then everyone have a nice vacation.
Yeah.
What up, guys? It's your boy Smiley. Got a question for you. Was going to this store today, and as soon as I walk out of my car or get out of my car, I noticed a Bentley SUV in front of me, and this guy stepped out, and I'm like, wait a second, that guy kind of looks familiar. And immediately thought like, holy shit, is that Allen Iverson? He lives in the same city as me, so I was like, it could be. As I'm walking in the store, like slowly starting to process, like, wait a second, that was definitely Allen Iverson. And when I'm leaving, I realized that, hey, we just happened to kind of go out at the same time again. And I'm walking, I was gonna try to get a picture, but he was on his phone. I didn't want to be like creepy about it. So I go to my passenger door to try to like look like I'm getting something and not like just look like I'm following him. And it did not end anywhere well at all. It just made it look even creepier. So my question for you guys is this. What was the situation that you got in, whether it be like you met a celebrity or something that you didn't mean for it to look very awkward, that it just end up blowing up in your face and looking extremely awkward? I assume that Jack has.
Every time
probably
I've
the
ever had to
best
put a
answer for this.
microphone on a porn
Let me know.
star. Footage of all of them, and it's always like, there, you could just do it. Like, yeah, that's always awkward.
How did this guy not immediately realize it was Allen Iverson?
Yeah.
Where he's like, the guy's in a Bentley, looks a lot like Allen Iverson, and oh, by the way, we live in the same city. Like, all the ingredients to that being definitively Allen Iverson.
I was afraid he was going to say he did the where he takes the camera out and just goes up to him. I was going to be like, I mean, everyone here has said they hate when that happens, when somebody shows up already.
Yeah.
And, or like they're already filming. And I was afraid he was about to say that he did that to Allen Iverson. I was like, you're lucky he didn't whip the hell out of you. Like,
I don't know that I have. I mean, I definitely. It's like we kind of end up with us meeting so many people that they all blur together.
Yeah.
I don't know, Jack. Do you have one? I mean, you got Bean Girl.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, with Josh Richards, but that wasn't awkward. That fucking crushed.
Play that cool.
Yeah.
There was one time I met Jordan Rogers. Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, no.
You know who Jordan Rogers is. And I he was like at an airport, and I was really nervous, but I needed a picture with him for some reason. Like, he's so irrelevant. Like, it's
I was
fine.
like with Jordan Rogers.
Yeah, I don't
right?
know. I just watched a Bachelorette, so like I guess like whatever. And I like went up to him, and I was like so sheepish. And I remember like so many people were watching, and I was like, "Hi, like can I get a picture?" And like I was like stumbling over my words, and he just didn't look up at me. And I was like, I just said it louder, and he just like looked up at me and was like, "No." And then I was like, "Oh, sorry." And then he like kind of realized that he was a dick. So then he was like, "Okay, no, it's fine. Like, I'll take a quick picture." So then it was like even more awkward because it was like a pity.
It's a pity picture.
And then we had to like go through the whole process of like finding somebody to take the picture, and it was like I can't even.
You didn't go selfie with it?
God.
I don't know. I didn't go selfie with it. I didn't occur to me until
That's
right
the
now.
worst. We've been
Yeah.
talking about that ad nauseum when someone's like, "We gotta find someone." It's like, "No, let's just do it." Or I mean, the worst is when they hand it to your friend, and you're like, "No, you can't."
Yeah.
And then I got my friends now just hand it to someone else. Like, I'm not doing it. Like,
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah.
what I do.
So if I'm ever out like with you and them, I'm like, me. Just fucking give me the shit. Like,
I had one. It wasn't really awkward. But it was like, well, it was a little awkward when I was a child. I was at a diner in New York City here for like a weekend with my mom and my grandmother, and I saw Wayne Gretzky, and
shit.
I was like, that's Wayne Gretzky, that's Wayne Gretzky, that's Wayne Gretzky, and my grandmother was like, let's go, and took me to go talk to him, and I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. I was like, can I have your autograph, sir? And he kind of like pondered it. He wasn't a dick about it. He just goes, only if my wife signs first. And in my head, I was like, but I don't want your wife's autograph. So I kind of paused. I was like, okay. And so I think I still have it somewhere. It was in like a...
that's awesome if you have that. That's like a very rare
it was
signature of Gretzky's.
In a Rangers date book. New York Rangers date book, and it was his wife and him like both like autographed like that day.
Dude, you should try to find that. That's like, because there's so many of those. Like, I mean, he's done so many, but how many has he done with his wife?
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. That's
That's a sim
I
move.
know you probably expected me to say no, and I was like, fine, I'll do the wife too. Cole, did you say you had one?
Yeah. I got a few. Or two. Recently, like last week, I was in Whole Foods and I saw Usher. 99% sure I saw Usher. So I was walking. First time in Whole Foods, I have no idea where anything is, so I'm taking laps around the store, and I walk past this guy with like his two kids and a really big buff bodyguard. I'm like, is that fucking Usher? So I look on my phone. There's like no reception there, so I'm sitting in the corner like pretending I'm typing, but like just trying to load the Google search. Like, how tall is Usher? He's 5'8". I'm like, oh yeah, that guy looks 5'8". So I'm like, there's no way that was him. So I keep going. I do another lap. I do another lap. Like, there's no way that's fucking him. And like, I'm pretty sure it was him. Like, he left before I could like confirm it. But yeah, and then I was little. I was on the plane coming back from Disney, and I sat next to Gene Simmons from Kiss. I had no idea who it was, but my parents were freaking the fuck out. Like, we got like a random upgrade to first class, and my parents were like, Cole, do you know who that is? I'm like, no, I don't know who that is. Come to find out, he was high as shit the entire time.
Yeah.
Like, Mommy, why is this guy sleeping so much?
Yeah.
Like, trying to wake him up, giving him his glasses. Like, here you go, sir. You dropped these.
You trying to wake him up?
Yeah, I was like a 6-year-old at the time, and
So roughly what years was this? Because this is when like he had. I think that's around when he had his reality show.
Yeah,
when,
that was
which was electric.
So it was 2006.
Yeah.
2006 or 5. And
It's right around then.
My parents, like, we come home and like they put it on the TV, and it's the scene that, I don't know why I remember it, but it was his birthday, and the cake was just a pair of tits. And my parents were like, oh, turn that off, and he's like motorboating this cake. Yeah, that's when I knew I liked girls.
Yeah, that'll do it. That's awesome.
All right, time for the Annie Lederman interview, and then fuck off for a little while. It's 4th of July week.
Yeah, next week we'll be releasing a best of. It's like 3.5, 4 hours, so you got it all week to catch up on everything. And then the following week we'll be off Tuesday, but we come back Thursday very strong. Couple good interviews, and then fucking Whistle Pig. Whole bunch of stuff coming up.
Bang. See ya.
I have my boyfriend had to do that. We got I froze my embryos.
I don't think I don't think I did.
I got like my eggs frozen, but they put his sperm in it, so because you can find out if it's like if it's got issues, the egg, and what gender it is, and they're all boys. I've all frozen boys.
Really?
So annoying.
Issues or no?
It's not gonna be you guys.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna raise a bunch of
Do
you
they need a
fuckers.
job?
Everyone watching them, I want of you. Ew.
Dude,
How did is that a whole procedure?
It was a fucking
It's
nightmare.
like a surgery? Like
It was, it was essentially surgery because they like went in and took things out. They scooped me.
yeah, I would sell the fuck out of my eggs. If I
Yeah.
was a chick. You
I
I
thought
don't know about
it
now,
when
but
I
you used to be
lived
able to
here.
get bank.
But you would get like $8,000 and stuff.
Oh,
but
I thought it was like
honestly-
$100,000.
No,
Maybe.
but honestly, I think
your
if you get
eggs.
into like, there's
that
like,
girl's sleeping in a car. We'll give you like $750 for that egg.
no, I think it did matter. Like if you were like, honestly, I think if you're Jewish or like
Oh, yeah.
specific things
Definitely,
for,
yeah.
and you could probably get more. But
I think
my
if you have a
friend
higher
did it.
education and all that shit.
But I think you're also talking about being a surrogate.
no,
no, like donating.
no, you can
your-
donate
You
the
can-
eggs.
No, I
yeah.
know, I know you can donate.
Being a
them, but I don't
surrogate's
think
crazy.
that's
Those women,
100
it's like, God bless you,
It is. I think you
shalom,
can get a lot.
assalamu alaikum. You guys are amazing. That is really wild.
Surrogates is crazy.
I can't believe someone
Well,
would do that.
when I found out that Kim Kardashian and Kanye's surrogate got like $50K, I'd be like,
They're
you guys,
lying. There's
like
no way.
2.5 million.
There's no way. There's
Easy.
no way they didn't give them
Like
that
I'm
money.
sure they
No
also
way.
paid for like a lot of their life and stuff, but like if the actual like contract signed, here's the money for it, is anything less than like millions, you're crazy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
No.
carry your kid, you two, from a year of all this shit, and I'm gonna get
It's
like
not even the carrying
a-
the kid; it's just the dealing with the two of them. Like I'm
All
gonna, I'm
that,
gonna have
all
some
of
crazy
it.
calls from you two. I imagine.
Yeah.
There's a lot of singing. There's a lot of weird things happening. Preaching all of a sudden in the
Like,
middle
for-
of the
for
thing.
this-
There's a
for the
sermon.
salary
Is this
of
a
like
sermon?
a for the salary of like a teacher or some shit. Like, fuck off.
Semen sermon. There's something there. I can't think of the joke. But. Yeah, it's just a weird. I can't even imagine. It's very nice. It's very selfless. There was a woman in an audience once that was I was doing some crowd work with about it. She's like, it paid off my student loans. I was like, yes, sure. But you could probably start like an Etsy account. You could sell like knitwear. I don't know. I just feel like there's other
It's an
options.
extreme.
Than,
Some people pay off their student loans by just simply having a job and
Yeah.
not having a baby.
But I support. I think it's very nice, and who knows? Maybe I'll want to fucking pop it in a stranger. Pop those eggs in a stranger at some point.
That's how you would do it. You would.
I don't think so, but I have no clue. I just wanted to do it because I was feeling like worried, and I didn't want to feel worried.
Just in a weird mood that day. Felt like.
But I was. But I got Kim
eggs.
Kardashian's doctor. Thank you. I did get the Kim K doc.
Really?
Yeah.
See, yeah, you're
Celebrity
rich now.
doc. But he.
I'm surprised that like I feel like that's you got to be like in certain circles to even like get that. You're on that level, huh?
Friends with Olivia Munn. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Sometimes you're friends with Olivia Munn.
The maniacal laugh. I love it.
Sometimes, but now she's down in my world. She had a baby with Mulaney. Now you came down to my level, bitch. I'm
you
trying
ever-
to rise up to yours. You came to mine. She's like on tour with Mulaney. I'm like, you know, you're a star, right?
That's kind of better than leveling up, I think, is dragging down.
And
Yeah.
also,
When you're
but
like,
it's a
"Oh,
good down.
welcome
He's
to the
doing like
dregs."
arenas and stuff.
Make sure you subscribe to KFC Radio on YouTube to get all the video content. Subscribe, comment, like, and make sure you turn on the bell notifications so you know whenever new video content drops.
I want to say something, but the video has to be faster. That's it.